From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. In this recording, we go over the Build Back Better Act and that recon that will get passed, says the President of the United States, and Bernie Sanders in new comments today. We'll go over the brand new comments from Bernie Sanders and the President of the United States that impacts your recon with the big money that Joseph Biden wants to send out and that MSC monthly IRS stimulus check starting with $2,000 the first month and more money thereafter. But in today's recording, brand new and live from Santa Monica, California, you're going to hear about a new push from the Purple Power, from me, that could send out a check even earlier than that. Could we have a check going out in the first week of February? I have the latest details about a new push that we could consider as a part of the Purple Power, and guess what? We've done it before. We go over the big checks in this incredible recon that has $15,000 plus third stimulus repeating there as well. We'll be turning back over to student loan debt forgiveness and fifth stimulus and what you need to know about that as well. Then we'll be wondering and looking at the big exciting details of that Colo raise and why people are able to tiptoe to the beach so beautifully in sync. Have they learned from Crayola? Are they tiptoeing into the beach like they're tiptoeing into the show? Those incredible details come up in today's recording. Plus, we'll be looking at what's happening this new week with Chuck Schumer saying that the vote on the recon is happening. Wow. Those are new to comments as well. Plus, we'll be going over the big money that is available and how you gauge inflation as just a mom and pop or a senior across the board. How you gauge inflation. It's coming up in the second half of this video, but we got a big lot of checks and a lot of money and a new push to add in a check to a different body of legislation that's going for a vote in just a few days from now. Whoa, this is huge. It's big. It's a big Mornings All broadcast. I'm excited you're here, and the excitement starts right here, right now, as Mornings LA gets underway from a very windy, very dramatic and very blowing morning here in Santa Monica, California, and the excitement starts right here, right now, as Mornings LA gets underway. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful morning and hope you are ready to rock and roll. And he is frozen. Why is he frozen? Let's unfreeze him. There he goes. It's a surfer frozen in time. That fourth stimulus recon will get passed, and that incredible details of that fourth stimulus recon is true deliciousness. We have new comments from Bernie, new comments from Chuck, and new comments from the president, and a new push underway to get a stimulus check by itself out earlier than initially thought. That's going to go over in the second half of this video. But first, we're going to go over the big checks in this incredible recon. The Senate changes, they'll add more checks on top of that, like an MSC, on top of $15,000 of existing checks, and on top of the $45,000 of checks that you could still get under third stimulus, but also repeated under fourth stimulus. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus that COLA raise, 5.9%, what you need to know across the board. We're going to go over all those incredible details, plus how to gauge inflation, what's going on with a major twist and turn internationally, and how it impacts your wallet. Those details and more as we go into a big morning's broadcast. We're direct and live from Santa Monica, California. I'm excited you're here because guess what? The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. The bacon is brewing. No, the bacon isn't brewing. The bacon is burning. Here's the toast. Toast is the coffee is brewing, and the butter is buttering, and the toast is toasting. It's a big, bold, beautiful morning. But first, I want you to subscribe. Go into this video and subscribe. You're watching LA, America's number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, like right now, and taped in the afternoon. And hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Thank you for all the incredible membership growth this week. I'd also sign up for those LA alerts, so you get alert when a new video goes live. The link is under the description. It's free to become a LA alert member. Subscribe and like the video as well. As we go into this big, bold, beautiful video on Mornings live from Santa Monica, we're going to go over the checks. Then we're going to go over the voting. And then we go over those new comments and the new push to get checks into a different body of legislation earlier than initially thought. Let's go over each of these incredible checks that pay you at least $15,000 with 3 clusters and 3 add-ons, and we start with the first cluster starting right now. Hazard pay. 4,000 hazard pay is extended for 1 more year under the Earned Income Tax Credit, which was broadened under third stimulus for essential workers. If you want to learn more about how that works, it is at irs.gov. They're going to do $4,000 of care for older people in there, $4,000 to care for young children, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, $500 Pell Grant for the college students. They got nutrition in there, and they got home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Wow, that is incredible. The first add-on of checks comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. So this is money for the purchase of your first home. Yeah, you heard me right. Money for your purchase of your first home. Let's go to the second cluster of checks. True deliciousness. Paid leave, household tax credit, and home repairs. The paid leave is a lot of money. It is $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. It is $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. If you make $15,000 or more per year, it's $400 a week. How many weeks per year? 4 weeks per year. One thing I haven't gone over in a couple of days is the eligibility. It is W-2. It is 1099. It is all types of workers. Everything from a department store W-2 employee to an Uber Lyft driver, a 1099. Now, if you don't work, but your son or daughter does, and they have to take off from work once a week to take you to the doctor's office, they'll get the check if they live with you as well. It's incredible. Then the home repairs. Those are slightly different than the prior home repairs. This is to weatherize your home. Weatherize your home. What is that? Well, there's always these holidays, and you got to weatherize your home for the holidays. In the state of Kentucky, they got Lobster Fest 202, 2022 coming up next week. Then they have a Lobster Shorts Week coming up the week after that. They have a Lobster Garland Day, and then they have a Lobster Ear Muffins Day. So there's a lot of lobster celebrations in Kentucky. Well, not particularly in the whole state of Kentucky. Actually, just in the senator's office. So there you go. That's why you want to weatherize your home. Let's go to the second add-on of checks that comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He got it in there. It was a campaign promise from Joe Biden, and what is it? Oh boy, is it great. It is $250 billion, a little bit less, for free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, great job, Bob Casey. Let's turn to the third cluster of checks. That's where we find deliciousness. Seniors and free internet. They got in there free school meals for all checks, money for seniors, money for the free internet, money for farmers, the independent contractors. But for the seniors, it's not actually a check, but benefits. 2 provisions added on the House side and 3 coming from the Senate side. On the House side, they got in there hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. More about that in a second. And then on the Senate side, they vowed to do dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55, which is par for the course of when looking at the next provision. You know what that next provision is. Say it with me. Let's say it out loud. It is MSC. When we look at MSC, it is a provision that they want to add into that incredible recon. Let's go over eligibility, who gets it, then how much, the vote, the advocacy, and the finish line. First, who gets it? Back in the month of May, those legislators told viewers of this channel that the eligibility would be the same as a third stimulus check. So let's go over that eligibility right now. Single individual, $75,000 or less annual income, gets it. Married couple, $150,000 or less annual income, gets it, but double it. Family of 4, quadruple it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, you would get as well. Family of 4 gets it. Adult dependents get it. All right, let's go over some nuances. Is it income? It's not. It's not taxable. Is it state by state? It's not. It's not by the federal government. And finally, is it something that could be impacted or canceled by your state governor? No, this is a federal check. So what is MSC? Let's go over that simple basic concept. What is it? The M stands for monthly or multiple, and then the name stands for monthly IRS stimulus check. The reason why we use MSC is because the fourth stimulus recon has multiple checks in there, a lot, upwards of 60,000. This is one separate instrument where the checks are sent out from IRS. That's why we call it monthly IRS stimulus check. Let's then turn to the amount that would be paid. Those legislators starting the month of May said the following amount across the board: $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. Then let's turn to the advocacy, and then also let's turn to where we are. Where we are is why you watch this channel. As the #3 most watched financial news channel in America, I go over all the nuances of where things are at a particular moment, whether it's complicated or whether it's not. In the case of this one, it's a little bit complicated, so let me slow it down for you across the board. The fourth stimulus recon, called the Build Back Better Act or the Social Spending Plan, was passed in the House back in the month of November. It is now in the Senate. For something to become a law, it has to be passed by the House and passed by the Senate and signed by the President of the law. Now understand that legislators have their own egos, and senators are different than House members. Just because a body of legislation passed the House doesn't mean it becomes law in the Senate. Senators have to do their own version of it. So what does this look like? It looks like the Monaco Grand Prix, and you're a driver in the race. Announcer goes on air, says, pull your car over the side of the road. The race ain't canceled. The race ain't going backwards. And the race ain't going over the finish line. We're being put on hold for a hold point. During that hold point, we all understand that some of the racers, the senators, have said they want to add a lot of provisions to that incredible recon. That recon, while written and passed in the year 2021 in the House, has a lot of provisions. We're going to go over them in a second, say at the very end. A lot of checks. Those checks are all written in 2021. So if the title of the video says 2021, it don't matter because the checks are all 2021 created. The senators would add to those checks, and not likely remove them. And Bernie Sanders, Liz Warren, Chuck Schumer, and Ron Wyden among the senators that said, I have a lot to add in there across the board. When would they make those modifications? They make those modifications when the announcer goes on air and says, drivers, start your engines. We're starting back up. First stop, says Senate subcommittee. We go into the Senate subcommittees, and at that point, the legislators would modify the legislation, like the Senate Budget Committee, led by Bernie Sanders. Modify it, called for a vote on the Senate floor. And then after that vote on the Senate floor happens, then they'd have a 2-day vote-a-rama. All those events at issue have not happened yet. Doesn't mean they're not happening. Just means they haven't happened yet. And then that goes to the president. He signs into law. That is where we are. Then we turn to the issue of advocacy. Advocacy is very different in January 2022 than it is maybe a few months ago. Why? Because in the next 10 minutes, it's not being voted on. So because it's not being voted on in the next 10 minutes, no rush to make 15,000 phone calls today. But you want to make a phone call at least once a week. Why? Because the legislators don't need to know that you still need it or want it, whatever it is. Maybe you like the housing provision. Maybe you like the first-time home purchases. Maybe you like the MSC. They need to hear it. They haven't heard from you since September, for example. They're going to think maybe they don't need it. You need to make that phone call once a week. We're going to go over who to contact first, and then we're going to go over what to say second. First, who do you reach out to? You reach out to the following 6 senators, because that's where we are. 6 senators, and they are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Those are the 6 senators you want to reach out to. These are 6 senators who are among the senators who have told thousands of viewers they're putting things in there for you, and they go over and beyond just representing their state. They help millions of Americans nationwide. Again, Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Then we go to the important question of the big question, which is how do you advocate? And how do you advocate is very important across the board. When you advocate, you want to pick up the phone and speak to potentially the same staffer you spoke to before, wrote down their name or her name, then speak to them again and say, I need to tell you why I need it. Your narrative may be different now than it was in September, because guess what? Maybe something's happened different to you than last time you called. Remind them why you need it. Now, this is what you do. What you do not do is ask, is it in there? Why? Because the there does not exist. The there is referring to a bill. Even though it passed in the House of Representatives in November, there is no there. There is no bill on the Senate side. They haven't done it yet. So you're asking about a hypothetical. No one knows the answer to a hypothetical. Don't ask that question. If you're at the water cooler on next week and someone says, I heard it's not in there, the answer to that person at the water cooler is there is no there. There's no bill. They didn't finish the bill. If they refer to the House bill, the answer is we're in the Senate. The Senate hasn't done their version of the bill yet at all. And what's important to understand is they're not dragging their feet. It's not that they don't care. It's not any of that things. In fact, the second half of this video, you're going to hear a new comment from the White House. It says, the recon's going to pass. Joe Biden wants the money to go out. You're going to have a new comment from Chuck Schumer that says the recon's going to go for a vote in just a couple of days from now. You have new comments from Bernie Sanders that says, I loved this last week. Why did Bernie Sanders love this last week? Here's a spoiler. He loved it for the same reasons you have wanted things to be done a certain way. He got them done those ways as well. But the big exciting news you're going to hear for the very first time live on air right now in this recording is the opportunity for potentially, us to get a stimulus check out the door by February 18th. If you and I think that this is a campaign, a social media campaign we can get and work and win, it's coming up after the commercial break. It's only on LALATE, and it's going to mirror something we did in 2020 called CR for Stimulus. That's coming up after the second half of this video. Plus, we'll be turning to third stimulus. Plus, we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, fifth stimulus, and more. We got a big second half. This is live. This is Santa Monica, California. It's a big, bold, beautiful day. I'm excited you're here. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. As a wonderful morning to LA from a very windy Santa Monica, California continues in 60 seconds. Be back with you in 60 seconds as Morning to LA continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now as Mornings LA continues live on air from Santa Monica, California on a big, bold, beautiful day and windy day here across the land. We can go over that recon, then we'll get past this Chuck Schumer and new comments today and Joe Biden and his comments additionally. But those Senate changes will be robust, and Bernie Sanders is very excited about what happened last week. Why? I'll go over that brand new comments from Sanders in the second half of this brand new recording today. The incredible programs that have recon will get more robust as more checks are added, and the incredible money across the board. I'm going to go over each of those incredible checks one at a time, plus third stimulus repeated. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. Fifth stimulus, what you need to know about that. And then we'll answer the big question that people are wondering is how is this couple tiptoeing so in unison at the beach? They're tiptoeing in like they're Crayola. Wow, it's incredible. Those incredible details coming up in the second half of the video. There they are, they're tiptoeing again. But first, I want you to subscribe. Go into this video, hit that subscribe button. You're watching LALATE, the #3 most watched financial news channel in America, live in the morning like right now and taped in the afternoon. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes per video, and sign up for membership so you get an incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. The membership link is under the video, and you will get that purple hawk emoji next to your name. Also sign up for those LA alerts. The link to it is under the video description. And with that, we have a lot. Is a jaw-dropping big broadcast. No hyperbole at that at all. In today's recording, we'll go over all these incredible details, and all these details start right here, right now, on mornings. Wow, what a day it is. First, Bernie Sanders has new comments about what happened last week. And Bernie Sanders says, thank goodness last week was done how it was done. We need to start doing this. What is he referring to? So last week, the Voting Rights Initiative called for a vote, failed. Last week, the Senate rules changes called for a vote, failed. He loved it. Sound like something we talk about on this channel? Sounds like something you talk about? Absolutely. We've been talking about this since 2021. Bernie talked about a lot late fall last year. Just call the vote. We talked about a lot. And viewers have said, why are they not calling the vote? Just call the vote. Why do we want the votes called on things? And why does Bernie want the votes called? Let's go over the details. Bernie's narrative is that if you call the vote and you have a Democrat vote against a provision, then we see who that Democrat is, and then we make modifications, and we get it done. If we don't call the vote, we don't achieve anything. We just sit around waiting and twiddling our thumbs and thinking maybe it'll happen, and we never go from point A to point B. That concept is really quite fascinating. The second part to it is the following. When you call the vote, remember, you want the Republicans to vote against it so that there's a congressional record that shows we were trying to help Americans and Republicans voted against it. Bernie Sanders says you don't get that record if you never call the vote. So here are the comments from Bernie Sanders, brand new. He says, we've negotiated with two senators for 5 months and it's gotten us nowhere. So we really need a new course of action. I think we have got to do it now and make it clear where the 48 of us stand. 48 is referring to the 48 senators minus Sinema and Manchin. He says right now we're playing into the Republicans' hand by not having them, Republicans, vote against anything. Really great news. That's comment number one. Comment number two is that the White House has new comments from the White House spokesperson that says the president wants the money for the fourth stimulus recon to go right away. The president believes that the recon will get passed, social spending bill, aka the Build Back Better Act. And Chuck Schumer, also in brand new comments, says that the spending bill or the Build Back Better Act will go to the Senate floor in just the next few days for a vote. Wow. Now, here is a brand new concept, a brand new idea you ain't going to hear anywhere else. And we're proposing it to the people in the live chat right now. I'll be proposing it throughout the videos of today. These are new videos. And if you have a comment, jump in the live chat right now, yes or no. And if you have a comment with watching this video late in the day, send me a private message. The comment is the following. On February 18th, a government funding deadline is looming. That means they need to do a CR by February 18th. They have to do a government funding bill. Sound familiar? I already saw someone in the commercial break, I think it was Ann, who already knew exactly what I was teeing up. It does sound familiar. In December 2020, I was sitting on air and I said, you know what? I'm tired of Steve Mnuchin. I'm tired of Nancy Pelosi negotiating this, what would be the second stimulus package. It never happened. And I said, we can't sit around any longer for this. We need to figure out a way to get some checks out to the American people. So I came up, only me, came up with the idea to put a stimulus check in a body of legislation that doesn't belong to have a stimulus check in there. It's called a continuing resolution. It's a bill that funds the government's operation. It's money to run the government. It's not money to go to your wallet. It's money to run the government. My idea was, I don't care what it's called. Put a check in there and send it out to the American people. I called it CR for stimulus. Hashtag C, Charles, R, Robert, the number 4, stimulus, all together. CR for stimulus. People thought I was crazy. They said it's a bill to fund the government. It's not to send out money to the residents or the citizens, it's to fund the government. But you and I knew that it made sense. Why? Because over the last year that this channel's been around, and any months, any years before that, before the channel exists, we all knew that the government constantly passes legislation that inserts stuff in there that doesn't belong in there. They had a COVID relief bill in 2020 that sent money to foreign governments. They had a COVID relief bill that was to give money to the Department of Copyrights. So they always put stuff in the things that don't belong there. Why not put our money into something that doesn't belong in there? Because it's money for us. Here's the concept which I'm proposing right today for the first time on LALATE, and you're here for the very first time, starting right now live. My idea, if you like it, we will do it, is to push for a CR for stimulus 2022 to put in at least one stimulus check into the next government funding bill that has a deadline potentially of February 18th. One stimulus check, put it in there, get it out. We get it, somewhere in mid-February. That is not to replace anything of the Build Back Better Act. It's not to replace the multiple stimulus checks. You ain't going to get 6 or 7 or 9 or 20 checks in a continuing resolution bill. You're not going to get it. But you can get one check in there. Maybe we could shoot for $2,000. Maybe we get $2,000 out in February while we wait for Build Back Better to finish, maybe in late January, early February, with that and all the other checks that amount to $65,000. In the meantime, we get a $2,000 check out that covers us for a few weeks, and we get that going. If you like the idea, jump in the live chat with the hashtag CR4Stimulus. That's Charles Robert, CR, the number 4, stimulus altogether. And if you like it, I'll push it. I'll go on social media, we'll push it like we did 2020, and we'll say, hey, what? You can do a government funding bill, but you can at least put a stimulus check in there. We've been waiting for you to get this recon done since May of last year. At least set out a check for the time being to cover us while you get to these other things, because you haven't gotten the other things. All right, that is number 1. That is actually it's number 3. Bernie, the president, shock, and now CR for stimulus. Number 5. Here's something I covered yesterday. I want to go more into detail about it right now. There's a lot of new reporting out in the last 24 hours that says one guy is to blame for the recon not becoming law. And that guy at issue is Ron Klain. He's the president's chief of staff. And there's 3 issues at hand of what they see that are problematic with him. First, prioritizing. Second, isolating or pandering to one faction and not helping with another faction. Number 3, not being responsive to people. All right, first issue is perhaps the most important. We have not covered Ron Klain on this channel much, but we covered him a lot on the first few days, the president's time in this administration. Ron Klain came out those first few days, said, we're doing climate and we're doing stamps. And I said, excuse me? Let me cough. The climate has been bad for a couple years. It's going to be bad for a couple more days. We can do that. It's going to still be bad. Let's get to some money out to the American people. Then we'll do climate. He didn't prioritize. And he's accused of not prioritizing then, still not prioritizing now. One thing I've not made very clear, and this looks really foolishness, is the president had Ron Klain put climate first, went to that climate conference in Oslo, was it? I can't think it was Oslo, and said we're going to pass it. Never passed it. So we don't have a climate agreement. We have no climate, and we held up everything else for this climate stuff, and we never got to it. Stamps, I'm fine with the stamps that are already existing. We don't need new stamps. We don't need to hold up our recon because of stamps. But the lack of ability to prioritize has been a real bad problem. Now, we can fix that in just that. You do the recon next. You don't do anything else but the recon. That's solved. That's solved. But I think the next problem is a more pervasive problem. Ron Klain is accused, and I don't think it's far to dispute. I think it's very easy to believe it, of pandering to the progressive Democrats and isolating everyone else. In December 2020, we knew that was the case because Pramila Jayapal, head of the Progressive Caucus, says, I talk to Ron Klain every single day. If she can get him on the phone every single day, but other people can't, you know there's already a problem. She's saying, I love talking to him every single day. If she's spending his entire time on the phone every day, then you know there's a problem because he has to hear from other people besides her. I like her, but why is she able to speak so much to him? In the 3 weeks in which I was hospitalized, there was one story that was hitting the press a lot. I wasn't able to record. The story was the following, that Joe Manchin was the recipient of very, very negative press releases released from the White House about this and that, recon and recon. Blame Joe Manchin. Blame Joe Manchin. Now, let's make this clear. This is how the situation looks. You're picking up the phone, you're speaking to Pramila every single hour, every single day. You're speaking to Bernie every single day. And then on the other side, the moderate Democrats, you don't speak to them, and you actually go after them. Sound bad? It is bad. It really is bad. I mean, these are your party members. The president is the leader of the Democratic Party. Your job is to keep everyone happy and copacetic. Your job is to be just a nice person that people get along with, a voice that they can speak to. And if you are cutting people off and then going after them, I don't know where this guy was hired for this job. That's not how you run a job. That's not even how you run a gas station. That's not even how you run a local toy store. You don't go after one set of employees and then pan to another set of employees. You don't do it that way. Who is this guy? It's so out of touch with how you run a business or an operation or an organization. I think the president now knows this. The president in a press conference late last week said, I want to now hear from outsiders who are not part of any political circle or any administration or any political party on what they need to do to get provisions of this administration done going forward, like recon. This guy. If the president says I'm not getting insight in from other people, that means that Ron Klain has really isolated people. Now, I haven't got to the last group he has isolated, and you know which one it is. Republicans. President came into office. First word, he says, I want to reach over the side of the aisle and help my colleagues on the other side of the political spectrum. Joe Biden knows how to do this. He was a senator for many, many years. He worked with other Republicans. Ron Klain is not allowing that event to happen. The report says that Ron Klain doesn't let Republicans get to the president, isolates Republicans, goes after Republicans. You can't do that. You can do that if you control all the Senate and have a massive majority. Let's say you have 70 Democratic senators. My numbers are all wrong. I know they're not wrong. But let's say you could absolutely control the Senate so overwhelmingly you could maybe do that. You don't have that. So why are you doing that? Prioritizing real issue. I know Anna's in the live chat, so I'll mention her favorite person, Brian Deasy. Brian Deasy is part of the problem of this administration. Forced stimulus recon had a lot of provisions in there that shouldn't be in there, like money for people who are not born. Every time I say that, I can't say it with a straight face. Why is this administration focused on people who aren't here yet? They haven't arrived at the dinner party. They have not been. They are not on this planet yet. Why are we prioritizing things for people who are not amongst us? And I'm not referring to UFO people. I'm not referring to ghosts. I'm not referring to Casper. I'm referring to people who are not amongst us. And Brian Deasy's focused on people who are not amongst us yet. Why? Let's focus on the people who are here. We're having a gym party. We're having a broadcast. There's some people in the live chat right now. We're all here. How about focusing on us before we're focusing on the people who are not arrived yet and may never arrive, maybe from 18 years from now? It doesn't make any sense. Is that what they teach you at Yale? We're going to focus on helping people that aren't here yet. I'm here. Sorry, we're just ignoring you. I know you're here, but we're focused on people who aren't here yet. And we'll get to you sooner, maybe, right before you die. But in the meantime, we're focused on people who aren't alive yet. It's just crazy. It really makes sense. All right, the third part of Ron Klain's situation is deeply problematic. Mid-level White House officials say Ron Klain is isolating the president from everyone else. We already know that. That's no surprise. And then Ron Klain is isolating himself from everyone else. Okay, now that's a problem because the chief of staff is supposed to be the rainmaker, the guy that gets things done. This is the guy that literally, he has a solution for everything. If he's not around, oh boy. And you're isolating the president, oh boy. The reason why people elect Donald Trump, the reason why people elect Joe Biden is they are people that get things done. They have a way that interacts well with people. Donald Trump was really good at going to Kevin McCarthy saying, I need to get this tax reform done. Went to Mitch, get this tax reform done. Joe Biden, brilliant ability to pick up the phone and speak to Kristen Sinema saying, we need to do this cheaper prescription medication and this recon, and I need you to bless the recon. He got it done. That's why these people are presidents, because they're good at it. If you don't let them do what they're good at, then it's problematic. So, really fascinating. With that, let's turn to the incredible provisions that are in this recon one at a time, and we'll start with these incredible checks. Now, remember, here we go. This is what we're going over. You see how thick that is? These are provisions written in 2021. You must know these provisions. Get a pen and paper and take notes. This is your money. So when it becomes law, you have to pounce as a purple hawk and get the money. Do not look to 2022 as the reason to learn about the money. This has been around since 2021. This was passed in the House. It will stay in there on the Senate side. It will be added to, but it will not be removed from, likely. So this is where your money is. And this is all 2021 written language that you need to know. I'm going to go over it right now. $72,500 of what you can deduct in state and local taxes on the federal tax return, raising it from $10,000. This is a salt cap. They have cheaper prescription medication, growing from 20 medications a day one to 30 medications a year 2028. Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, the most expensive medication. They got $40 billion of free job training in there, very needed for people who are chief of staffs of the White House that may need a new job soon. I know, I'm shady. They got in there the Medicaid gap fix. 12 Republican states have vowed never to provide insurance to low-income uninsured people. Now they got a workaround plan in there. Due to the wonderful work from Joe Manchin and the wonderful Raphael Warnock of Georgia, got that provision in there. They got in there the housing provision, which I'm going to cut back to in a second. It's coming up in this fourth stimulus recon update. But first, I want to go over to the big money that is in there for the nutrition, $65 per month for nutrition for people who are students across the board. They got in the $550 check for Pell Grant, the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. They got some provisions on the third stimulus that continue to get on the fourth stimulus, like the CTC, $3,600, one more year of it. The hazard pay, earned income tax credit. If you got it in a third stimulus, you would get it again in a fourth stimulus. What is it? Learn about it at irs.gov. New provisions like the household tax credit. And then all the provisions that Bernie, Ron Wyden, and Liz Warren wants to add in there. But let's now turn to the incredible provisions of housing. Two provisions that are new, and the other ones that are continuation from third stimulus. They are the two provisions new, the weatherize your home and the home repairs. The other ones returning back from third stimulus are rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and food. We're going to go over all those incredible details right now. I had a wonderful comment that came in from a viewer overnight that said, you know what? I'm on Social Security. I'm advocating. What else can I get so far? I got the COLA raise. You can get rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and food. First, the rent. You want to reach out to six places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. Get that big more money for rent. Utility assistance. Get that money for utility assistance. Then, you want to get combo items, 3 items or more. Also, you want to get food. Reach out to Department of Agriculture. Get that SNAP benefits. It's a lot. Now, when we look at these rounds, I want you to get another round from here forward. So, it's going to be featured more on Afternoons LA tonight and Evenings LA. But the round for now is as far out in the future as you can go. Let's shoot for May. You got it before, you can get it again. They can't do May, then do April. Can't do April, then do March. You want to get this as far out as possible across the board. It's a lot of money. Viewers got $45,000 from what became law in spring of last year. Then, from viewers' channel in December of last year, they got $15,000. Some viewers got it last summer. You can get it as well today. You want to reach out to six places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. The keywords you can say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Pull out that membership newsletter. It's all featured in there. If you're not a member, go under this video and become a member today. People in the live chat are members that have that emoji next to their name. Also, lean on the nonprofits. The nonprofits are refunded with a new replenishment of funds every January each of year. because their funds come from donors and benefactors, and those new funds get replenished in January. So lean on them as well. Student loan debt, again, the $10,000 offer on the table, the Democrats should take it from the president. And then that COLA raise. Your benefits went up 5.9% starting this month and will stay 5.9% at this current level indefinitely, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. This stimulus comes right behind that, saying it's good, but it ain't enough. First, they want to raise your benefits up one time to get you caught up. Remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, remove the marriage penalty, and love is going to win. Then they want to apply inflation as your new benchmark going forward. Inflation, where is it going? Where is it now? And where is it heading? And how can you predict it? I'm going to show you how. You're going to become a financial guru in this video. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very, very simple. In January of last year, no, March of last year, I said that the inflation rate by the end of this last year, December, would be 8%. People thought I was crazy. Federal Reserve, Jay Powell said 1 to 2%. Wall Street said 2 to 3%. Everyone said it was temporary. It was going back down. I said, no, it ain't. It ain't going to go down in January. It's going to be 8%. Came in last Friday at 7.5%. I got it right, and it's not temporary. Now, how can you be a financial guru? How can you predict things as well? I'm going to show you right now. This is the way you can gauge inflation in this month of January 2022. It's very simple. If you go to the same market and you buy the same bread, milk, or eggs at that same market, the same brand, the same market, the same amount or quantity, you can do this. How do you do it? Let's use the bread, for example. It's the same brand, the same loaf, the same size every time you go. When you buy the bread, let's say you bought the bread 3 times already this month. Think in your mind, how much did I pay for this loaf of bread the first week of January? How much did I pay for the loaf of bread last week? How much I paid this week? And then you go buy it later this month, early next month. How much am I paying now? If you see it creeping up 20 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents each week, you found inflation. And if you think about how much it's going up, that's inflation. So let's say it's gone from $3 on the first week of January to, let's say, the first week of February to $3.30. It's gone up 30 cents on a $3 loaf. That's 10%. That's a lot of inflation. 10%, you just saw it. So I just told you 8% inflation in December 2020, and you're seeing a loaf of bread go up 10%. Now, inflation is based upon a lot of different factors just besides food, and your meat may go up faster than your bread. But trust me, if you see milk, eggs, and bread, and I want you to use those 3, going up 2%, 4%, 5%, 8%, and I already told you it went up 8% last month, then you know we're at the same level of inflation right this month as we were last month. That's how you can predict it yourself. And guess what? Check back with me in first week of February, and we'll see if you got it right based upon what you're buying. Now, here's another way you want to do this as well. When you are looking at world events, if you see things that are really clean or clear, then that's what's happening. Here's the most common example. If you are very attuned to a series of different businesses, whether it's your doctor's office, whether it's the place where you work, or it's the local coffee shop you go to, if you see that 20% of the employees are out, 30% of the employees are out every single week this month because of Omicron, that's an easy way to predict inflation. Because most businesses have 20 to 40% of the employees out. If they're out sick, then that business is having to spend more money for labor. Overtime for people who aren't sick, fill-in people, they have to spend more money for labor. The way they suffer, the way they endure that extra cost of labor is they send the cost over to you by increasing the price of bread, by increasing the eggs. This is how you see things, and this is how you predict things. This is important because then you know how to predict things for yourself. You won't be blindsided in February if you suddenly say, wait, why have eggs gone up 20%? If you saw them creeping up 5%, 2% every week this January, then you already know this. I don't have to tell you in February where inflation is. You already know it. This is a very common trait, and I just taught it to you across the board. Next, we always have these other ancillary issues. Crypto is crashing badly. I think I'm going to go back on air live with you right after this recording to make a brand new metaverse show because crypto is really having big trouble. We have the world concerns about Russia potentially invading Ukraine anytime in the next 2 months, 3 months. We have a lot of financial economic data coming in next week with corporations really getting the hurt from decreased staff because of Omicron. All this impacts your recon across the board. The great news is that if you like the idea, a CR for stimulus, and you're watching the show live, jump on the live chat. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, write CR for stimulus. Say put it into that government funding bill due by February 18th. Tag me. If you like the idea and you watch the show later in the day and it wasn't live, send me a private message. And we will ramp it up. We'll ramp it up with emojis and campaigns because guess what? This is how we rock and roll. And with that, I'm excited for you to join me throughout the day with new shows taped and live throughout the day. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Offer, Power Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning. Do not blow away if you're in Southern California because it has been windy here. It is like Kansas and the Wizard of Oz windy. So do not blow away. Figure out how these people tiptoe in so beautifully together. They're tiptoeing in and they're tiptoeing out as this video heats up as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day. Join me next as noontime LALATE heats up with the latest details again about your skin. Viewers are loving the video about your teeth, and we went into the skin, and we got more to cover with your skin today as well. By the skin of the teeth, your recon will become flawless additionally as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day across the board. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, tell your friends and neighbors to come on over, and stay with LA for more.